Miami's community news, South Florida's #1 source for local stories. I'm Michael Miller, bringing people together and sharing the voices, events, and connections that shape our community. Thank you for joining us. This is Live with Miami's Community News, and we have Frank Santa Claus right here, Calderon, with Miami-Dade Solid Waste Department. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you and your family. So the holidays are here. Christmas is like in a week and a quarter, something like that.
Pretty much, yeah.
And so people want to know, is Miami-Dade Solid Waste going to come pick up my garbage over the holidays? So let's hear it.
Not on December 25th. No garbage pickup December 25th. And as a matter of fact, it's the only day of the year that we also do not pick up recycling.
This is it. This is a big time.
So, yes. So This is the biggest holiday that we observe. Just so people know, your next garbage pickup is just going to be your next regularly scheduled day, which would be Monday, December 29th. And for recycling, we have a special makeup day. If your recycling day is that day, please don't tell us, oh, they told me to put my recycling, and your day is, say, Friday. Christmas falls on a Thursday this year. If your recycling day falls on December 25, then there will be a makeup for recycling only the following Saturday, which is December 27th.
You know, I used to think that when Christmas was on a Thursday or Friday, that it was always good because there would be less time for people to take off work. No, it's a two-week holiday. Doesn't matter what day of the week that it's on. So I think I told you last week, I went on miamidade.gov/bulky waste, right? Went in there and I registered December 26th, and I tell our landscaping a little language issue. So he says, when are they coming? I said, December 26th. He goes, okay. I go home the next day, and all of it's already out front. I went, oh, my God. I said, really? And I go, you got to take it. I can't leave it here for a week because somebody got a ticket.
Yeah.
So I went, of course, it was cleverly done because I had to pay him then to haul it away. But either way, I was stuck. I was either going to pay the fine or pay him. But the good news is that it worked. We're calling today to cancel it, to give somebody else the opportunity to book December 26th, folks. That's your day coming up. I'm sure it'll be gone in a heartbeat. Okay, so we went over recycling and the garbage pickup. So what's it, again, on service days? So Christmas you're not doing. What about New Year's?
New Year's, we're picking up garbage and recycling, no issues, just like a normal day. Just, like we do for Thanksgiving, we advise you to have your cart out before 7 a.m. because there's no traffic. There's going to be no traffic. And there's a good chance that, the garbage truck might come by earlier than you're used to.
So the other day, you said to me, Michael, there's no traffic, so make sure your garbage is out by 7 o'clock. So I'm gleeful. I see our green cans are out front. The guys put it out there. I got to go take these bags of garbage and put them out there because Frank told me this quarter day, they'd already been there, already gone. All right. So that garbage sat in there for another couple of days. So I hate to do this, but got Christmas time, got Christmas trees, all right? And looking forward a couple of weeks, people start saying, all right, we're done with Christmas, on to the next holiday, whatever that happens to be. Where do all the old Christmas trees go? That's what people want to know.
Well, you can bring them to certain TRCs, not all of them. But they'll turn them into mulch. We also have the option of you can put it on the curbside beginning December 26th. If you do go with that route, though, we ask for your patience because it may take some time before we can come by and pick it up. But we will pick it up. And as long as it doesn't have anything on it, it'll also be converted into mulch. And by anything, I mean lights, light strings, ornaments, tinsel, and no flock trees and no tree stand.
All right. But I enjoy asking you questions that you don't know the answers to. But how many Christmas trees do you think there are that get picked up in Miami-Dade County? Any idea?
I have no idea.
But
I can tell you we have about 350,000 customers. I don't think or household customers. I don't think all of them have artificial or natural trees, which is what we pick up. We don't pick up the artificial ones, just for the mulch. We don't. We only pick up the natural ones.
So if they don't put them out front, what do they do with them? They take it themselves. They put it in there.
They could take it to one of the TRCs where they'll take it for mulch. Don't put it in the green cart. Don't put it in even less in the blue cart. The other option is a bulky waste pickup. Otherwise, the TRC if you're gonna do it yourself. But yeah, if you put it out there, I want to say they'll take trees that go out there. I don't know the exact date. I think January 6th is the cutoff. Otherwise, you have to just figure out a proper way to dispose it on your own.
And the other day when we were talking about bulky waste pickup, most people don't really engage services of the county, right, to haul their stuff away, or is it a really big deal, the number that they get picked up?
We get quite a few. I don't know off the top of my head how many bulky waste pickups, but we get quite a few.
I forget what city I was in, and every household there was another pile of stuff out on the street. So years ago, there was a guy running for the city of South Miami Commission, and he made his flyer, his promotion. The hole was so deep, he put a 2x4 across the top of it and sat in it. Do you not want this anymore? I'll fix it so they don't dig down. But that was with the city of South Miami. And it was so sort of cumbersome in the sense that, because a lot of the cities have regular trash pickup like that on the street.
Sweeps, as we call it.
Oh, is it? And they just go out and whoever's got it. Versus with the county, you have to call ahead to have that stuff picked up. So that's a big advantage rather than all your neighbors having stuff out there for 24 or 48 hours, 72, something like that. And so Noche Bueno, tell us about that. When is that?
That is December 24th.
So
Christmas Eve.
Okay. And so, so somebody asked me, what if we want to get rid of all that Christmas stuff before Christmas? Any problem? Just stick it out there.
What do you mean?
Get rid of the tree before the kids start expecting it every year.
Well, we're okay with you putting it out there December 26th, but not before.
Okay. That's the way it usually works. And at some point when you mulch that, where is it that the trees get taken?
They collect all the trees that they're going to collect, and then we have a chipper machine where it gets mulched, and then we make the mulch available. Typically, sometime in the spring, we typically make an announcement. They make it available at certain TRCs, depending on how much there is, and then it's available to our customers. First come, first serve. You have to bring your own, whether it's a bag or a bucket or whatever, your own container, and your own shovel or whatever you use to pick it up.
It does smell so good.
Yes, the pine trees just smell really good,
and for a long time, right? Because the bark sort of protects it until it's completely dead. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about recycling. I know you sort of touched on that. We know the county at some point. I'm sorry, on the waste energy plant, which was not the recycling, but that's it sounds like it's they're going to select somebody pretty soon. One of them happened to be our favorite power company, was one of the
candidates. Yeah.
Has that been decided which one's going to get that?
Not yet.
All right.
It's scheduled to be decided tomorrow at the county commission meeting. But beyond that, it's under cone of silence anyway. So I really don't know a lot of the details about it anyway. So
whatever it is, it's going to be a long time, years and years.
In building,
years.
Yeah, it's anticipated.
And in the meanwhile, we're just sort of figuring out what to do with this stuff until that happens.
Well, I mean, for now we have the trains and some trucks taking it to landfill in landfill in Central Florida. But yeah, that's at some point we have to figure out a more viable solution.
Are there some towns that burn their trash? Not in a facility. I'm talking about
just like open fire type of thing. Not that I'm aware of. It's not legal in many places. I don't think it's legal in Miami-Dade County to do such a thing. But I can't for sure. I don't know because I don't know all the laws. But generally speaking, it's not considered a good practice. For one thing, there's no control. There's no environmental control. There's no safety controls when you do that. So
because you have all
that's
these
discouraged, highly discouraged.
Little things flying through the air.
Little fly ash, as we call it. It's not like the waste energy facility we had before the fire burned. We had air filtration or air quality control system, a very sophisticated filtration system with multiple layers. So the stuff never got out into the atmosphere. But
a lot of people don't like to think about, but there are crematoriums all over Dade County. And there are some that are in commercial areas. There's some that are closer to homes. I think the new law is if you're already there and there's no homes within 250 feet, you can go ahead and do that. Downtown, there's been one down there, at least one for 100 years. And so the new machines that are out there, I hate to be like practical, are pretty good. All right. They filter through all this stuff. There's something new, by the way, which is they use water. And it does a pretty good job of winding up it the same way.
Interesting.
It should be interesting to see what happens in the next 5 to 15 years, making that a little bit better. So my favorite subject is people dumping trash out on the swales. Anybody new get busted that you know?
I'm not aware of anybody off the top of my head, but they're always on the lookout for people doing that.
And folks, just because it's the holidays doesn't mean the cops aren't working at it. So be careful out there. Don't do it. Take it to the dump. The TRCs are open every day.
For our customers, they'll be closed on Christmas Day, but they're open pretty much. They only close 3 holidays. The rest of the year they're open, and that Christmas Eve they'll be open till 5:30. The day after Christmas,
if you were going to estimate, right, how many cars might go in one of those TRCs in a day? Any idea?
Some of the busier ones can get a few hundred, maybe even into the thousands easily. But that's a good question to ask my ops folks and see about how many cars do you get per day. And obviously the weekends are busier.
And I think that to try to paint this picture that the county's doing a lot to try to take care of this. So right now, instead of waste energy, they're taking some of the stuff up the middle of the state where you're paying a vendor to get rid of it. We have some that's going to go down to our what do we call it?
Well, we have the 2 landfills that are ours, but we're trying to reduce how much goes to those landfills, the South Day landfill and the North Day landfill.
And because we have so much construction that's going on here, it's never ending, right? I know there's a developer out in West County wants to put up a development with 7,000 homes. Maybe if they name it a city, it might be, put the name on it, might be a little bit easier. But that's huge, all right? And there's so much construction. All those apartment buildings that are going up, especially down south. You have the big condos, not so many units, but it still creates a lot of garbage. Let's talk, if we would, so people can understand. If you are and live in, let's say, the town of Sunny Isles or in Aventura or Coral Gables, most of those either hire the county to pick up the garbage or they have their own service, right?
Correct. Most of the municipalities, a lot of them, the smaller ones tend to work with us, but some of them it's like each one does its own thing kind of.
Years ago, the South Miami had an old truck. And so we did a cartoon out of it. I think I can. With this old truck with all the terrible smoke going out of it. We had a good time with that. But those are pretty pricey trucks, aren't they? The all-electric ones run about how much?
Oh, the electric ones. It's been a while since I figured out the price. They tend to be more than the regular diesel-powered ones. A few years ago, the diesel-powered one, a diesel-powered truck would be about $100,000, if not more. But I know the prices have gone up quite a bit. So, but I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know.
And again, as you know, we saw the one that's all electric.
Yes.
Where does that get charged up at night?
That gets charged up in the Doral area.
And so we shouldn't tell what address so people won't go over and plug it in. So what does it look like for the Public Works Department as far as the different types of fuel that you use? You use diesel? Do you use, I don't know, it's not propane. Is there some other product you use besides all electric?
We don't, but there are, I think the buses, some of them use CNG, compressed natural gas. And of course, our trucks use diesel, but a lot of them use ultra low emission diesel. As a matter of fact, we've got, just this year is the second time we've gotten a grant from the EPA to buy new trucks, to help us buy new trucks that use lower emission diesel to create lower emissions.
And those trucks, how long do those last? I mean, that they're in use?
How long? Well, it's like a car. The longer you use it, the more you're going to have to spend on repairs. And then at some point, diminishing returns, anywhere from 5 to 10 years, diminishing returns where it's like it's now worth more to buy new than it is to keep maintaining the older ones.
And just so people can put in perspective, the average truck, the average driver in a truck, how many stops a day do they do, more or less?
They do about 1,100 to 1,200.
That's just unbelievable. Think about it. If you were driving down the street and you stopped at every one of those houses, let's say it's 15 that way and 15 this way or 20, all day long. Right? It's tough work. Is the county looking for anybody right now in that department?
No, we don't have it advertised, and I looked. So I can actually answer this question. I did see other positions with other county departments for drivers or automotive equipment operators, which sometimes can include like heavy machinery. But yeah, there are several deriving positions that I saw for other departments, but just not ours.
If people want to look for jobs at the county, where do they go to look? miamidade.gov/jobs, JOBS.
And
if they want to find out more things that are going on with solid waste, they can go there. They can see some videos and they can see what's going on in the recycling arena.
At our website, miamidade.gov/solid waste.
I'm going to see my grandson in a couple of days. I'm going to ask him to go give me another piece of plastic out of the waterways back there. And when I explained to him, when he said, look, Grandpa, I found some plastic, it was so significant for me, all right, that he has it in his head, because he enjoys going out there, paddling around and seeing the manatees that are out there.
And this is the time of year.
Yes.
Manatees escaping the cold.
Yes.
They come down here.
And they live on sort of like on the end where it's not as, there's not as much current back there, so it's a little bit warmer, I suggest. And let's talk a little bit about Jean Marie Massey, who is the recycling manager for Miami-Dade County. She comes in with her cart, all right?
Yes.
Filled with all the stuff. And she told me she takes that cart, she actually puts it into her car and takes it out to the schools. And she does.
I've helped her load it into her car.
Her husband was here not too long ago. And I asked, does she really do that? Yes, sir, she sure does.
She does.
And let's talk a little bit about how recycling has changed in the last 20 years as far as what products are being used and what new things are being able to get recycled.
I think in the last years, I think it's become more simplified and more streamlined, just because it makes things easier in general for everybody. Not to mention it's market based. One big thing that happened some years back, and everybody still talks about it, was when China decided, that's it, we're not taking any recycling unless it's like 90, like Ivory soap, 99 and 44/100ths pure, which is almost impossible to get. But yeah, it's I think it's become more streamlined and more simplified. It makes it simpler for operations. It makes it simpler to sell the items you have, and a focus on the really high demand items like cardboard and the metals.
And what occurred? Where did all that stuff that used to go to China, where did it go after that?
Well, a lot of places actually had to just stop doing recycling because of that. We were fortunate that we didn't. We have one of the biggest, our contractor, Waste Management, WM Inc., they're one of the biggest companies when it comes to waste and recycling. So they were able to sell the materials on our behalf, or basically they take it from us and then they sell it. So we were able to find markets that way, and we didn't have to end our recycling program. In fact, it's still going.
Some people say, well, what's the big deal if China doesn't take it? I'll tell you what happened. The price of glossy magazine stock went up when they stopped taking it, period. Went way up. People think it doesn't. Of course it matters. It all matters, all right?
Yeah, there's I don't know if domino effect is the right word, but there's or the butterfly effect. And China being a very huge butterfly affects world markets on all kinds of things.
Yep. Paper,
cardboard, and so on.
Going back to some people's home on the bulky waste pickup, right? That it's no hurricane season is gone, but mosquito season. Where's mosquito season? Michael Moot was here.
Yes,
it's just more or less it's always a season. But
technically, it's always a season here because it's warm enough. I mean, it's not as bad, but anytime we get rain, it just encourages them. And I think recently they actually had a little bit of a mini spike in college, just not as much as you're going to see in the summer because the mosquitoes love both the heat and the rain. But every time we have rain, we see a little bit. And there's a concern because you see dengue spreading around other countries, and people are bringing it. They travel and they come back and they bring it here, and that creates a potential for spread, which fortunately our mosquito control does an excellent job of being on top of it in conjunction with the health department. Health department lets them know if somebody has, somebody has dengue that they brought from having traveled recently. That's why when you go to the doctor, you're not feeling well, one of the first questions they ask, have you traveled out of the country the last 30 days? And then when that happens, we do an aggressive treatment protocol in the area, and that helps keep that in check.
So the county has, if I remember, several hundred traps all throughout the county.
300 some odd. I want to say about 320.
Those are traps where they are experimenting, if you will. How many mosquitoes over there, what type they were, all over.
It's more of think of it as a mosquito census. It's not there for the purpose of actually eliminating the mosquitoes. It's not going to do that. We couldn't put out enough traps to do that. But it's there to give us an idea. Okay, these neighborhoods have an increase in mosquitoes, so let's go treat. And these are the types of mosquitoes in this area. And the types that can spread disease or the types that really don't spread disease, that sort of thing. That's what it does.
When they put out the traps, do they are they typically in the same places, or do they move them around?
No, they're typically in the same places. And that's why they capture the data from. There's actually people at mosquito control that sit there with tweezers and count how many mosquitoes are in a trap, tell you if they're male or female, and tell you what species they are.
And I think they bought it on styrofoam. Don't use styrofoam anymore, but they have the mosquito.
Yes.
And they pinpoint it. And you have to have really good eyes to figure out how to get the little...
I couldn't do it.
You'll go, where's that mosquito? He's right there. Don't you see it? Get it. Don't put it in his eyeball. All right. So, and with these traps, when they catch them, they're alive, right? And then
they die pretty quickly. They're a little bit fragile. When they're in the trap, they get dehydrated. There's nothing... Because they actually, the blood is only the females get the blood, and it's not for their own nourishment, it's for the eggs. But both male and female mosquito need to, like fruit or flower nectar is what they actually, for their own, their own nourishment. And if they can't get it, then they're not getting any type of moisture, and they end up getting dehydrated.
Well, in my ripe young age, I've given up going into our huge areca palm trees and pulling out the extra, the brown leaves, or the palm fronds, because I don't want to get bit by anything anymore, whether the mosquitoes or the no-see-its. So it's been raining a lot today, all right, and I guess a couple of days ago. So that might mean in some...
Potentially. That's why we say drain and cover.
Drain and cover.
Drain is important now with this rain. Just anything you might have in the yard that can collect water, you should drain it after the rain stops.
And to look at the bromeliads are wonderful collectors of water and of mosquitoes.
Yes.
So, and lots of people are unaware that the eggs they're like dehydrated for a long time, and then when the water hits them, they like hatch.
There are some species that are viable. They lay the eggs, and keep in mind that the females in the wild, probably less, but I think in labs, mosquitoes typically live about 30 days, no more than a month typically. In the wild, it's less. So they'll lay the eggs till they die, and those eggs could potentially not hatch for another year.
I bet the male dies a whole lot sooner.
I believe so, yes.
Nature's having a good laugh, huh? Think you're a big macho guy? Yeah, we're going to take care of you. So anyway, so we have big holidays coming up. People are off from work, and I was at the airport yesterday. Oh my goodness, a lot of people are coming and leaving. So people need to be careful out there. And as we wrap up this session, let's talk a little bit about the green carts out front and the blue ones. If they're broken, what do they do?
Call 311, and they'll come out and they'll either repair or replace the cart.
I'm going to avail myself of that, and I realized that we have 4, only one has a top on it. And I'm thinking, what am I doing that 3 of them we've never gotten new ones, all right? And Well, I guess at some point we got 3 new ones at some point, right? I guess.
At some point they were new, yes.
Yes. And I'm thinking, what is it that we did? I'm pretty sure what happened is our guys tried to jam the stuff in there. And then as
Over
I'm looking,
time, yeah.
and over time, it finally pops out of the hinges or whatever it is. But they'll come out, they'll fix it, all right? Or they'll replace it.
Correct.
And the same with the blue ones. If it's
The same with the blue ones.
they can call 311.
Just call 311. Yeah.
Right. As a matter of fact, I asked my wife to call and cancel an order that we placed for December 26th. We'll see how that works. But so far,
That
it's always
reminds
been
me,
good.
if I can jump in on the bulky waste pickups, the rule with bulky waste pickups is, and we know that there's been a high demand, especially here at the end of the year, even if the day that's available is after the new year, as long as you do it by December 31st, as long as you make your appointment by December 31st, it counts towards this year's collection. So you don't have to worry about it. If you go in and all the dates are available are in January. So just a little note for our
And people can get 2 25-yard pickups
per year.
So some people maybe the end of December, they're going to have all their stuff picked up, and a couple of weeks later, they can
have another one. Yep.
I was so proud that we were able to actually book that appointment for December 26th. I thought the guy understood. Yes, Michael, I understand. Was it December 26th? Okay. I couldn't stop laughing. It was almost perfectly done. All right. So, but I'm glad he got it done at the end of the day with that. And again, let's go over the home chemicals, then we're going to wrap it up after that. So home chemicals like underneath your kitchen sink and then the bathrooms, maybe in your shed. What should people do with that stuff?
We have our centers, our 2 permanent centers, and that's open to any resident in Miami-Dade County. You don't have to be a customer. You don't have to receive service from us. You can bring old household chemicals, paints, pesticides, fertilizers that you don't use anymore, old batteries. That's an important one because especially now at this time of year that with battery operated all kinds of devices, those lithium batteries are very potentially hazardous for the trucks, for the vehicles and stuff. So, you can bring them to the centers. I have somebody finally working on the posting to our website, the calendar for the schedule for next year's events, which we started doing a couple of years ago, the mobile home
Yes.
chemical collection events, where if you find that our 2 locations, permanent locations are a little bit too far or too challenging for you to get to, we have 1-day events at various locations throughout the county, and we have a schedule coming out soon on that.
And
For next year.
People are happy when they see that the county is doing things, especially that we're all creating that trash wherever you are. And people like that. They go, look what the county's doing. Isn't it wonderful? And of course, if they use it, all the better. And I think that's an important issue that maybe this year they're going to put some money into some marketing for the county. So for recycling awareness, maybe there'll be some more money to send your recycling team to the schools. And Jean Marie Massey is a huge asset to the organization.
Oh yeah.
I never laughed so hard with her and her husband, who usually sits right over there. He's laughing with us. All right. Frank, Merry Christmas to you and happy
Thanks,
holidays
you
to you
too.
and your family, and be well. Let's look right over in the camera over there. Frank, why don't you sign us out?
Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy New Year, and I forgot the saying, the Disney saying about the hugs.
Yeah. Disney rule.
Don't be the first. I'm paraphrasing here. Don't be the first person to stop the hug.
There you go. Perfect. Frank.